Welcome back, America. We're here with Michael Doran, the Hudson Institute, really a top scholar in the entire Middle East. Michael Doran, I have to say, I have a lot of great faith in Benjamin Netanyahu and Donald Trump, that these are the two right men at the right time to do the right thing. My concern is not so much them, but the enemy. They cheat, they lie, they steal, and they're terrorists. And they kill Americans, and they kill other people, and they support people who kill Americans and kill other people. So is it possible that when it's all said and done, the Houthis will keep shooting missiles into Israel, that Hamas will survive, and Iran, if not in the next 4 or 5 years, but maybe 10 years, because they play long ball, just like the communist Chinese, that they'll have a nuclear weapon? Is all this possible?
This is, unfortunately, this is where we're headed right now. And I hate to say it, Mark, but American policy is driving things down that path. When Trump made the separate deal with the Houthis, by which they stopped firing on American ships but continued to fire on Israel, he left Israel alone on the battlefield against the Houthis. And now Steve Witkoff is negotiating simultaneously with the Iranians and with Hamas to come up, I think, with this interim deal, which is where it's headed on the nuclear program, but also a ceasefire deal in Gaza that will leave Hamas in place. That's what the Iranians want. They want to buy time, they want to keep Hamas in place, and they want to protect their Houthi assets so that it can continue to shoot rockets at Israel. What this is going to lead to is that the United States will be the mediator on one hand, and on the other hand, we'll have Iran, Saudi Arabia, and Turkey all depicting Israel as the problem in the region. We have to narrow the gap between the U.S. policy and the Israeli policy. The Israeli interest and the American interest are identical in this, and as long as we show a daylight between Washington and Jerusalem, it gives the Iranians a field in which to play.
Let me ask you this. When it's all said and done, which may be a week or two or a month from now, if the Israeli government supports or is involved in the negotiations that the U.S. is involved in, you know, we see all these reports that there's a great division. But let's say if it turns out there isn't this great division, that in fact they're marching pretty much in lockstep, would that make you feel better? Again, we don't know what it is when I talk about it. But it seems to me if Israel has a role kind of in signing off on some of these decisions and so forth, who knows better than Netanyahu and his government how to protect Israel and its people?
I think there still is room for the U.S. and Israel to close the gap. I don't want to be a catastrophist about this, but I think that Donald Trump and Steve Witkoff need to see that as a goal, and they have to especially see the goal of being united against Iran and all of its allies. I think this could easily happen if Donald Trump looks at the interim agreement that the Iranians are offering and says, no, this won't do it, and turns to Israel to say, let's work together to pressure the Iranians, then we can see a better outcome. Right now, though, the Trump policy has taken Israeli pressure on Iran off the table. The Iranians feel no pressure to make concessions right now.
I just feel a little bit seeing some light there with, Doran and the others met with Witkoff and the others last week, early in the week, for a couple of days there. That, to me, was a very good sign. And so I'm hopeful that we're working together, working very closely with them and so forth, because you're right, in so many ways. This is a common enemy. They're not to be trusted. They will, if they can, cheat and steal and get a nuclear weapon. They want Hamas to survive. They want the Houthis to survive, and that would be an absolute 100% disaster. I want to thank you, Michael Doran, for the things that you write, things you have the guts to say. God bless you, my friend.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.